for that thing still. Got your mama fruiting on your corpse, how that pain feel. I've been all alone on my life in my lane still. Standing up on business, I've been about that action. So bring your whole faction of your gang real.
I hate Vonnie.
All right. Thank you for everyone who's here live on Instagram. Let me read this. On behalf of the Don't Say the F Word podcast, I, Mark the Monster, would like to apologize for the illegal brother-in-law Joe not reminding anyone what day of the week it was and allowing the big guy to be an incompetent buffoon. I did not write that I'm an incompetent buffoon. Well, hey, I'm taking it how I want to take it. Give me my hat.
Yes. I'll say in my defense, it was I got the work schedules mixed up. I thought it was today, so that's my fault. My fault, y'all. My fault. Okay.
Oh, so what you're saying is that it's not my fault.
I'm saying
it's 100% your fault. You're responsible for your own actions. I disagree. I want to blame others.
Okay. I say it's my fault. I got the work week new schedule mixed up, thinking today. Like, the start of the week was today. So I'm like, oh, we'll just let it bygones be bygones, okay?
Joe, don't let him make excuses.
Okay,
One day,
you're right.
he's going to have to grow up.
Mm.
That day ain't today. Look at that Hulk Hogan figure behind me. Today ain't the day. I'll tell you that much.
See that.
That's old school right there, Joe. I don't know if you know that or not.
Yes, that is old school.
That's my original too, by the way. That Hogan figure, that's my original. That is my OG.
Oh damn, that's the OG. Oh snap.
Yeah. That
could be worth money.
The one I have had since the dawn of time.
And that's probably worth some money if you still got all the figures together. No arm missing.
And it wasn't all scuffed up for me actually playing with it like how a kid is supposed to play with toys. But I digress.
It could be worth $1,000.
You know what? That wasn't on the schedule for us to talk about this, but man, the toys are bullshit today. Let me just put that out there. And it's not that I'm saying that like action figures are okay. A lot of action figures actually are bad. They're not quality by any means, but they're not priced at a price point where you could buy them for kids.
Yes.
Like action figures are priced at a price point to buy them for adults to collect them.
Yes.
And everybody wants to keep all their shit in a box and not really experience the toy how it's designed to be experienced. And we're always keeping shit because, well, it's going to be worth something someday.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're doing it wrong.
Yeah, well, you got. I can't lie. I found Harlem Heat when Harlem Heat was at Target. I bought both of them. I ain't taking out the box. They still in the box.
I got a couple figures back there that are still in the boxes. Yeah. I got a couple of My Hero Academias. I got some AEW CM Punk figures and some AEW Cody Rhodes. The LJN's big rubber guy.
Mm.
Got that still in its box. But for the most part, and those My Hero Academias will probably come out of their boxes here soon just to display them. I take all my Funko Pops out of their boxes now. I got a couple that might still be in their box. For the most part, I take them out the box. I display them out of the box. I take the action figures out the box, wrestling figures coming out the box.
Well, I ain't take mine out the box yet because my friend's collector and he told me never take the chase out the box. So I'm like, oh. Then he said never take them all out the box because that little dent, scrap thing, it could be worth some money. I'm like, okay.
But you gonna try and sell them?
I don't know if I'm gonna try something now, but
Exactly. I ain't gonna try and sell none of my shit. I want my shit. I'm gonna preserve. I'm gonna have it how I want to have it. If I decide to sell it, somebody else is getting it how it is. I'm not preserving shit for somebody else to have it. If you want it nice, you go buy it.
I ain't gonna sell my Sub-Zero. I like Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero best one.
Sub-Zero is always my favorite Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. Got with the little ice. Speaking of which, I got you. While we talking about the damn toys, right? You got me talking about this. Hold up. All right. Here we go. So, here we go. Like, KB, you got the Miz too. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, got
Miz Elite. Michael Jordan.
Okay.
KB. Tupac.
All right. There we go.
Joe, I'm going to ask you a very serious question, right?
Go ahead.
Pac or Biggie?
There you go.
Tupac over Biggie?
Yeah, Tupac over Biggie. Tupac over Biggie.
Really?
Yeah, Tupac over Biggie. Only reason why, okay. Maybe if he didn't pass away early, he had more than 2 albums. I would say Biggie, but right now I'll still stick with Tupac. Even with the whole his voice computer X-ray.
All the teachers that told me I never amount to nothing. To all the people.
I don't want to piss off you too, but drop that Biggie in there. I've always been a Biggie guy, man. Don't get me wrong, I like Pac, but I think lyrically Biggie was better.
If he didn't have more than 2 albums, maybe if he did a third legit album, it would change, but can't make the third album. So
do you think just the body of work, because Pac was in the studio so much, putting so much music together that came out after he died, he just has a bigger library, so
yeah.
Right.
Even before that, argument. Even before that, Pac had two before Biggie out? Yeah, he had 2 of them.
Yeah, I think so. The Tupacalypse Now.
Yeah. And
but I mean, Biggie was on Craig Mack's album.
Yeah, but him and Craig Mack didn't really get along. He was just on there. They both said it.
Yeah, I mean, still his verse on that record was really good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, speaking of which, can you hear me perfect? I just want to know, can you hear me perfect?
Yeah, I can hear you good, man.
All right,
how do I sound? Cool. Sound good?
Yeah. Because I just got
back in the regular studio.
I got
back in the regular room.
Yeah, I got some new earbuds.
Yeah. Oh, what'd you get? Are you a sponsor? Are you sponsored by them? You got Raycons or something?
Samsung Galaxy Earbuds FE.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
that's a non-Apple product for you, Joe.
I know.
You went non-Apple?
I know, I did, because I figured my AirPods, they're working, they're starting to go crashing a little bit. Then my sister, she got an iPhone. She said she got the Samsung earbuds FE. She said they sound better. They're good. They're comfortable. I'm like, then luckily Amazon had them on sale last night, like 40% off. So I got to take advantage of it. So click, boom, came this morning.
Nice.
Yeah, right. $50 right now. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong with that at all.
And they feel comfortable too. They a little bit comfortable.
Gotta save that money.
Yeah.
So before we talk about the weekend wrestling, I want to cover a little bit of what happened last night. BKFC Knuckle Mania 4. We got here we go. We got it.
Mike Perry steps forth, his energy unbent. A big cat finds its home early in the fray. Tiago outspills the force, no one's to say. With a thunderous hook out hits the floor. The crowd erupts, Perry's legs and soars. Undefeated and bare knuckle, platinum stands tall. The face of BKFC, he's the pride of them.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with everything in that, but Mike Perry, still undefeated BKFC, stopped Tiago Alves. Tiago Alves effectively retiring from combat sports after that defeat. Mike Perry ends it wanting to fight pretty much anybody, saying he wants a title fight with a friend of the show, Redneck Mundell. I think if Mike Perry really wanted that fight would have already taken place, but I digress. Maybe something's changed, but I really hope that fight takes place. I really hope we get to see Mike Perry versus Redneck Mandel near future, because I think Redneck Mandel deserves that payday, and I think he's the guy who stops Mike Perry. But we also had Lorenzo Hunt,
Yeah.
our hometown guy,
Mm-hmm.
lost to Mick Terrell. He dislocated his elbow.
Oh, that's what. Oh, shit. Damn.
Yeah, so he got dropped with a hell of an uppercut. Yeah, whenever he hit the mat, his arm was out, popped his elbow out, stopped the fight. Mick Terrell has pretty much already agreed he'll give him a rematch. Mick Terrell give Lorenzo a rematch. We did have a post-fight press conference. President BKFC David Feldman said he feels Lorenzo should just stick at 205, stick at the light heavy, don't come into heavyweight. Because so he's a little undersized. Any luck this week? David Feldman will be on the show with me, working on figuring out a day for that. So make sure you stay tuned. But we'll talk a little bit about the future of the heavyweight division. We previously had Mark Hunt on, we've had Mick Terrell on, we've had Lorenzo on. So we'll get to pick the boss's brain, see what he's thinking for the heavyweight division. He also announced new owner in BKFC, new partial owner, Conor McGregor.
I saw that.
Yeah, Conor McGregor, partial owner of BKFC. So I'll talk to David Feldman a little bit about that, see what that spells for the future. Because if you have Conor McGregor, partial owner, I believe his next fight is his last fight in the UFC. Well, on his contract for the UFC against Michael Chandler. I think he only owes the UFC one more fight.
Also,
not positive on that.
Conor McGregor got a lot of sponsorship in Florida. That's where you mostly find that alcohol he got, mostly in Florida.
Yeah. And, Nate Diaz was in attendance at BKFC Knuckle Mania last night. Got a shot of him with David Feldman right there. So you have Conor McGregor as a partial owner. They were trying to get Nate Diaz to say he had an interest in bare knuckle. I think Nate Diaz has an interest in doing a big payday. If we could get the third fight and for Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor to happen in BKFC, that would be amazing. To see the growth of BKFC is unbelievable. Speaking of growth in BKFC, I'd love to talk a little bit of money for BKFC right now. So last night, so what we have reported, so a lot of people know, I've talked about it before, UFC, you get money to show, you get money to win, then they have fight bonuses on top of that, right? So we do have full fighter pay released from the UFC, from UFC 298, from the California State Athletic Commission, and we can compare that to what the flat fee pay was for BKFC fighters from Knuckle Mania last night. So the lowest pay anyone got from UFC 298 in California was a $10,000 show pay. So the lowest they offered on the card was $10,000 to show. I don't have that contact information, but it was Brenton Rivera. He got $10,000 to show. I would imagine had he won, he would pay out an additional $10,000. He did not win, so his payout was $10,000. The lowest pay for Knuckle Mania last night was Sidney Smith, $500 flat pay.
$500.
That was the lowest pay. It was the lowest dollar amount that was on a prelim fight. You go into now you look at the other end of that. You have the highest pay from UFC 298 in California was Alexander Volkanovski. Got $750,000 to show. His total pay was $750 because he did lose. So I would imagine oftentimes those contracts are you got your money to show, your money to win. Usually, like whenever you get to the main level. So give an example. We don't know what his win bonus would have been, but Robert Whitaker on the same card got $300,000 to show. He got a $100,000 win bonus. I would assume Volkanovski's win bonus probably would have been $200,000 had he won, so he could have potentially made $950,000 had he won. He didn't win. The next person down on UFC 298 was Ilya Tapera, $350,000 show pay. Did not win, so we don't know what the win bonus would have been. But they did get a fight bonus of $50,000. Total payout was $400,000. So you have a $350,000 disparity between the highest paid person and the next person down on UFC 298. Fairly speaking, Mike Perry, flat fee, $600,000 for Knuckle Mania 4.
Damn. You know,
Significantly more than he ever made in the UFC. That may be more than he made his entire UFC career. He made it Knuckle Mania 4.
really?
Yeah, I believe so. I'm pretty confident on that. Not positive, but Thiago Alves, $200,000. Ben Rothwell, $150,000. Mick Terrell, $100,000. Lorenzo Hunt, $100,000. Todd Duffy, $85,000. Julian Lane, $20,000. And it just, Jeremiah Riggs got $8,000. Another friend of the show fought last night. Guys are making some good money in bare knuckle. Of course, the higher end guys, champions, those fighting for the titles, a lot bigger paydays, but there's money to be made there. Combat sports athletes and a dialed in one discipline, less wear and tear on the body and your training. BKFC is on the rise. I feel like we were early. We were the early podcast talking BKFC, getting folks on, and I just think that there's a lot of money out there for these guys to be making.
Makes me want to join. Makes me want to start.
Don't you dare. You need to relax. You are not stepping in a BKFC ring. Don't even think about that nonsense. I'm not even. Thankfully, I'm old now. Because my dumb ass in my 20s probably would have considered this shit.
I when you said that like 500,000, I'm like, ooh, that'd be great right now. 500,000 just for one little match for 2 minutes. 5 to 10.
Yeah, it is a lot of work to get to being able to make hundreds of thousands of dollars. You got to put in years. Look at how long Lorenzo's been in the combat sports game, and his flat rate was 100,000.
Yeah.
Mike Perry is just a hell of a marketer, man. He is the face of BKFC, whether I necessarily like it or not. He is. He's recognizable. He's had some great moments in there, and the way he fights, his style is entertaining and bare knuckle. So I think there's a lot there for him. I don't know what the future holds. Don't know if him and Redneck is the next fight for Mike Perry, but he's helping that promotion grow. I mean, to have Conor McGregor as a partial owner, man, 2 years ago, whenever we were first talking bare knuckle, I don't think that was even a thought in anyone's mind.
I say 2 years ago, everybody that's from Lorain County was just rooting for Lorenzo. That's about it. Yeah, no matter what it is.
It wasn't nearly as big. I mean, it's grown exponentially in the last couple of years, last 2 years for sure, and it's just really just blown up. I mean, I just think back in 2022, talking to Pitbull Smith, and it's like, man, there's a fight every week. There's a card every week. It's like, yeah, it's crazy. It's just growing and growing and growing. But it's awesome to see. It's awesome to see real money being there. I think Feldman's really dedicated to changing fighters' lives and offering up some money and making things happen. Who knows? Maybe we'll see a good agreement. He's very friendly with every other promotion, every other combat sports promotion. He's not a guy who's speaking negatively on other companies. So who knows? Maybe we end up seeing a working relationship between him and the UFC in the future. Something I'll definitely ask him if that's a possibility to see that.
Okay.
Yeah, just great pay going out there to fighters, a great card. If you enjoy combat sports, man, BKFC is where it's at, for sure. Now that we talked fighter pay and BKFC, let's talk about that WWE Draft.
I could say out of that whole entire draft, only 2 people twist brands, and that was just Nia and Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah, the draft, I think, left a lot to be desired, in my opinion.
But
Really, Carmelo Hayes coming to main roster was a given that was coming. I mean, we all knew that was coming.
yeah, but I think when he did his little tryouts he was on Raw and SmackDown. I think SmackDown was the better for him when he.
I think he's a good fit for a SmackDown brand. He reminds me of, he just has that SmackDown vibe. There's a difference between the shows. There really is.
Hmm.
I think that it was interesting for them to remove Roman. It makes sense, but to remove Roman from eligibility in the draft, but leave the rest of the bloodline to be drafted, I think that was kind of an interesting choice.
Yeah, they said from what I read, seen, they feel like Roman is like the Undertaker and Edge when they was the bad guys for SmackDown, and they said during the whole 3 years he was on SmackDown, he made the show worth it. So that's why they're keeping him on SmackDown.
I agree. I think that Roman is the difference maker for, I mean, everything WWE. To be honest, I mean, since pandemic, Roman's carried the company on his back. Now seemingly that torch has been handed to Cody. I'd imagine everyone knows who was drafted, but first overall pick was Bianca Belair to SmackDown. Second overall pick was Jey Uso to Raw. Main event, Jey Uso went to Raw. Third overall, Carmelo Hayes from NXT went to SmackDown. Fourth overall, Seth Rollins went to Raw. Seventh was Nia Jax to SmackDown. Eighth overall was Liv Morgan to Raw. The round 3 picks, LA Knight, drafted to SmackDown. 10th overall, Ricochet went to Raw. And then 11th overall pick, the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and Paul Heyman went to SmackDown. 12th overall pick was Sheamus to Raw. 13th, AJ Styles to SmackDown. 14th, Chad Gable to Raw.
No, Alpha Academy stays on Raw. The whole Alpha Academy is on Raw. Yeah.
As they should be.
Yeah.
I think they should keep them together. Build Team Angle around Chad Gable. Then we got Andrade with the SmackDown, and then we got Kiana James with the Raw.
NXT.
Yep. Nothing really amazing about the draft, to be honest. To me, man, I think SmackDown as a show wasn't a great show.
But you see, wait till tomorrow when the whole draft gets shaken up better for like 3 hours.
Yeah. On SmackDown, a 2-hour program, there was only like 20 minutes of wrestling. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then we got our dipshits like Eric Bischoff, who will talk shit about AEW. That had such a solid week. I mean, I don't know.
I just say this. I say this week in wrestling on all shows, it was good, but wasn't that great. It wasn't that great on all shows this week.
I think everything gave us something good. As I will say a little bit of negativity with how little wrestling there was on SmackDown, but that wasn't the point of this week's SmackDown. This week's SmackDown was not meant to be a total pro wrestling program. It was a sports entertainment program this week. And it did exactly what it was supposed to do. The draft is supposed to be its own thing. AEW did give us the return of Jack Perry in Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
It did give us the attack on Tony Khan.
That was kind of weak. I seen it coming
You
though,
think?
but yeah, it could have been. It could have been better. Like
Um,
he barely, he barely punched him in the stomach with the microphone. He fell like when he fell down, he fell and took the hit 5 seconds later. Like
he's not a wrestler, man. Here, I'm gonna play a little something for you, and then
okay.
we'll go into this. All right, here we go. Let's just
morning after,
Yeah.
and I wish there was a morning after pill that I could take to eliminate this abortion of a wrestling show from my memory.
Wait, really?
so that's Eric Bischoff. It was the morning after Dynamite, saying he wishes there was a morning after pill that he could take to eliminate the abortion that Dynamite was from his memory. Okay, but so everybody knows who that is. You have Conrad Thompson kind of checking him a little bit. So, and I'm glad Conrad was willing to
I thought
actually
you'd have been all
intervene
about
there
that last night.
and say
His
something.
best Eric Bischoff impression, his best NWO
I know
impression.
because it's not necessarily that. I think Conrad's good at giving Eric a little bit of pushback instead of just letting him just be a complete dipshit. But here's a little more Eric Bischoff.
Conrad, if they would have done, if they would have laid that angle out, because clearly that's what they were doing. I mean, I'm sure there's some control out there that's, OD'd on the AEW Kool-Aid a long time ago. Oh, no, this is different. It was better because... Okay, here's my take. They say that absence is a form of flattery, I guess.
Even imitation.
Imitation.
So he's basically saying they were imitating the NWO with the attack on Tony Khan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You see that? See, I didn't take it as that. I can see how it could be taken as that, but that's not really what I see it as.
No, I took it like
if they would have
made it. Everybody took it out their boss. Stone Cold did it.
Yep.
It's like it's the everyday angle in every organization.
Yep.
I don't know.
Ever since they started doing it they did it with Bischoff initially, and then it was Austin and McMahon. It's always taking out the authority figure.
Yeah, I don't know if they did that to Paul Heyman in ECW though. I don't know.
I don't think anyone ever attacked Paul.
Yeah.
They would have rioted had someone done that.
Yeah, so I don't know if they ever did that.
But he goes on to say that if they had done it as just straight up parody, like how the Billionaire Ted skits were, that would have been better. And kind of said that they're better at taking. They should have just done it to take a shot at WCW and NWO, which that wouldn't have made any sense to me. But I don't know. They keep saying they should have just gone and made it a whole big joke and not try to take it seriously. And this was before Tony Khan showed up to the NFL draft wearing a neck brace.
That's right.
so fucking bad, but it was parody.
And he's saying it was essentially comedy because it was
And
such
the
a
really
bad.
sad part is they're taking this shit seriously. They meant that to be a serious angle.
He's right though.
It was so fucking horrible from the beginning throughout the middle. The end was just, oh my God. And when was it, Conrad? I lose track because I do so much of this stuff. When were you? I think it was you and I arguing about whether Tony Khan wants to be a TV star. And I went off on my Dixie Carter impersonation because Dixie.
I don't think it was nearly as terrible as Bischoff's acting like it was. A little hokey, sure, but at least gave us a reason for them showing the backstage shit.
I think what he getting at is it was more like Tony Khan being Dixie Carter in TNA when she got attacked. That's what he more taking it as more than the NWO takeover because the Dixie Carter angle it wasn't that great. Just like the Tony Khan angle wasn't that great. But I see where he's coming from. They could have made it more better. Like a little bit more better than just having Jack Perry come out saying, I'm sorry, shake my hand, sign me back, and then booyah. Punch in the stomach. You got the elite coming out. Well, if they call themselves elite these days. And then you see them.
Best version of the Elite, they say.
Yeah.
They say this is the ultimate This is the Ultimate Elite.
And
I
then
don't
when
know
you see them both,
if I feel that.
and then when you see them both grab Tony Khan's hand one by one, you know the B trigger was coming. Just by the way they had, you seen it B trigger coming. You seen it coming.
That's what I thought they were going to do. I thought he was going to get the BTE trigger or EVP trigger, whatever they're calling it now. Instead, they hit him with, I don't know, Tony Khan driver. Is it not the Meltzer driver no more?
I don't know. But I seen it. I'm like, yep. And then you see Okada just standing there like, you know what
I
happened.
wish they wouldn't have spoiled that Kenny is going to be at this week's Dynamite. I think that would have been a good surprise that Kenny Omega was going to be at this week's Dynamite as like what the hell are you guys doing kind of thing. But Bischoff has one more thing he says here that I want us to touch on. So let's go back. Giving it back to Eric Bischoff. This is from his podcast, 83 weeks from a couple of days ago, 3 days ago, Thursday morning. But here's some more Easy.
The right time. Maybe I'll break into it before the end of the show, but I'm not quite there yet. I've got a little bit of a post-traumatic Dynamite syndrome thing going on. It was, you know what? I was telling Super Dave right before we hit record, this was, without a doubt, the worst, most horribly produced professional wrestling show for prime time on a major cable outlet in the last maybe forever years.
No, it's not. You don't.
Oh,
He actually believes that. And people
I was saying,
wonder why I shit on Eric Bischoff and why I say he's a dipshit. He thinks this week's Dynamite was the worst produced wrestling show for primetime TV, for a major network, for major cable, for a major promotion, possibly ever. This is first of all, he acts like 2019 WWE didn't exist. January of 2020, Baron Corbin and Roman Reigns were involved in a feud focused around pouring dog food on each other's necks.
I knew it was going to happen. How did you read it up?
Well, because that's some of the dumbest shit of recent memory. And WWE put that out there. That wasn't AEW. WWE had Seth Rollins beat The Fiend by disqualification or something? Or no, The Fiend beat Seth Rollins in Hell in a Cell because Seth Rollins used a toolbox? That shit's stupid.
You him.
And Eric Bischoff put Hulk Hogan versus the Giant in a monster truck match on top of a building on Monday Nitro in 1996 and had the Giant fall off the building and then show up in the arena to wrestle a match all on the same night. And he dares to say anything about AEW.
I can say this.
Tell me when I'm telling lies, Joe. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
I can say this. There have been, on every organization, they had way worse shows ever. Every organization had. I can name a few. I can name a few in WWE that I know of. I can say WCW even had that little, what the hell was it, that like the electric chair thing that you get matched. It was
Oh,
that was it.
Whenever they put the electric chair inside of War Games and they electrocuted Abdul the Butcher.
That's the one.
That may have been a Halloween Havoc, maybe.
I think it was one of them.
It may have been Halloween Havoc. Maybe they may have called that Thunderdome or something. I can't remember, but I remember the electric chair and Abdul the Butcher. Shit was ridiculous.
And it
Absolutely preposterous.
And I could say for WWE when they did that,
the Attitude Era, and they did all the nonsensical bra and panties matches, and the entire 24/7 title was ridiculous. If it weren't for R-Truth, that shit would have been totally pathetic.
Yeah. And then for WWE, I could say the one match that didn't really make any sense. That's I still to this day don't understand. It was on Cyber Sunday. It was when Stone Cold fighting Jonathan Coachman. Postman that. But instead it became like a handicap match. Oh God, what was it? It was dumb. It was really dumb. But Stone Cold walked out of it because he didn't believe in it. He did have corny.
Oh, I vaguely remember what you're talking about. I can't think of what it was, but you're right. Whatever it was stupid.
Yeah, it was that match. And last for AEW. Now, I'm just gonna say this. It was a good idea because of the pandemic. With the stadium stampede. I was okay with it. That one time during the pandemic, I completely understood why they made the match. They had no one in the arena. No one. You could put cameras everywhere. I completely understand why they made the match. I don't know why they think it could be a traditional match, stadium stampede. The pandemic, it was good for the pandemic era. That's the only reason why I say I like it. But afterwards, after the pandemic kind of slowly over with, I didn't really see a point of having it. I really don't see a point of having it.
I agree. I just think that it's insane that you have Eric Bischoff on his podcast just consistently shitting on AEW as if he's booked successful wrestling. Like, after the NWO fizzled out, Eric Bischoff was a complete and utter failure in pro wrestling. Everything he booked after that was shit. His run in TNA was shit. It's unbelievable to me that he's able to get the ear of so many people. And I feel like I spend a lot of time shitting on him, and I hate that I do it. But so often people regurgitate what he says, and there's negative context of AEW. When AEW is consistently week after week having the best in-ring matches. Best in-ring matches.
The one thing I can agree with Eric Bischoff on, just one thing, is when he talks about Dave Method's and the little 5-star matches.
Yeah,
but the main thing, but this weekend I seen what Dave Method gave Will Ospreay and Daniel Bryan. He gave him like 7.5
stars.
Yeah, 6.5 stars. I'm like, I don't get his philosophy. He could have said he's making 5 stars, but he going upper.
But like, the only people who really give a shit about Meltzer star ratings is Dave Meltzer and the Meltzer marks. Wrestlers don't care. Will Ospreay said it himself. The fact that he has so many 5-star matches and Kurt Angle doesn't have any doesn't make any sense to him because he's nowhere near as good as Kurt Angle.
I know.
So Ospreay gets it. I think Meltzer's kind of a dipshit too, to be honest. Not as big and not as bad as Bischoff. Maybe they're equal. These two should probably have a podcast together. But you have Bubba Ray out there constantly spewing negativity at AEW while he's getting checks from WWE. Talk about a conflict of interest there. Like,
Bubba Ray even said he could go anywhere he wants right now.
He's getting paid to show up on WWE TV shows. He's getting a paycheck from those guys. He didn't show up at the Hall of Fame for free. He didn't show up at Mania for free. And he didn't show up at SmackDown for free. So to say he's not getting checks from WWE would be him lying. Him saying he's going to go work for AEW for free is him lying. No one's going to work for free, and nobody expects him to. We also don't want his convoluted dipshit ideas on AEW TV. Bubba Ray Dudley he's not a booker. We don't need him producing cable TV. Does he have some advice that could maybe work in AEW? Sure. But you know what? It's not his show. Like, everybody wants to give their opinion of what AEW should be doing. And they only want AEW to do exactly what they want. It's not like they want AEW to be better. Bischoff's not putting ideas out there because he wants AEW to improve and succeed, and neither is Bubba Ray Dudley. They want AEW to use their ideas so they can say they gave AEW these ideas. I'm a fan. I just want AEW to keep doing what AEW is doing, keep giving me good wrestling on my TV. It doesn't have to be my ideas. I wouldn't use Bischoff's because he's failed with all of his ideas. He had one good one, and it was the NWO. Everything after that garbage.
No.
Just my opinion.
Okay.
Just got a guy who couldn't capitalize on Goldberg's popularity. So, yeah. Couldn't book Bret Hart. Could not book Bret Hart post Montreal Screwjob. How's that work? How do you screw that up?
Mm-hmm. You got a man who cost me $6 million to this day.
Yeah. Well, that's a different issue. My issue with Bret Hart. I digress. Do you think Cody Rhodes got hurt on SmackDown? Nothing's been called out, but I mean that spot with Carmelo. I mean,
he said he's fine.
Is he fine?
He said he's fine. They said he's fine. It was nothing serious.
All right. It looked a little wonky. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I checked today. The sources saying that it wasn't bad. They think, but he's fine.
Okay. Good. I was concerned. I mean, they can't afford for Cody to be hurt because this looked.
Oh yeah, I seen it. Oh yeah.
Our boy Cody Rhodes really was moving in slow motion there. I mean, I don't know how that spot was supposed to go, if that was the intention, but man, it just looked wrong. But
I think Cody went maybe a little ahead because he wasn't supposed to do that cutter to like maybe the next, so he went kind of ahead of time.
a lot of talk about Chris Jericho this week across every wrestling thing. I did the whole learning tree Jericho. I feel like we were talking about this quite some time ago with my dislike of the Jericho Appreciation Society. And I was kind of talking about, how Jericho's not really helping the talent that he's working with. Ricky Starks didn't come out better outside of the Jericho feud. Really, no one has. Fans are booed the hell out of him for winning the FTW title.
Oh, yeah.
What do you see Chris Jericho next? Do you think he should take some time away?
It's getting to that point in his career where he got going toward Fozzy. It's getting close to that time. So I say July, end of June, come to July, he'll probably be gone.
I think here's what I think. And again, they don't have to do my idea. I don't think they should really toy around too long with the idea of Big Bill sitting under the Jericho learning tree. I think within the next week or two, there should be an interaction of Big Bill duping Jericho and bring back Enzo. Have Enzo and Big Bill take Jericho out, put Jericho on the shelf for a couple months so we can miss him. And I think it'd be a good opportunity to bring Enzo Amore into AEW. And Enzo deserves a second chance in a big show because he's great on the mic. And right now, AEW needs someone who's a master on the stick. You put Enzo back with Big Bill, it's going to get attention. They're going to sell merchandise. It's going to be funny. It'll be entertaining. Then you can bring Jericho back, and Jericho can feud with both of them. Or him and Hager can feud with both of them.
Will Enzo just be doing the talking? No fighting in matches. Just doing the talking.
Enzo could do matches in AEW. Enzo's had some decent indies matches. He's not a great wrestler, but you don't need him to be a great wrestler.
Okay.
He could be in the ring with somebody like Orange Cassidy can make Enzo look okay. You got Roderick Strong to make Enzo look okay. You got tons of guys who could really work with what Enzo has, the talent that he does have, and get a good match out of him, an acceptable match at least. But it's more about having him on the mic. Let's have him on the mic. He could rarely wrestle. He could be on the mic and just be the hype man for Big Bill as we build him up to be a monster for Jericho to contend whenever he comes back. But I think you bring in Enzo and Big Bill and Enzo. If they take Jericho out, they become instant baby faces right now. And then it could be about Jericho coming back in time to take them out, and he could team with somebody. He could do kind of try and build up him and Guevara again, or give Jericho some other heater. I don't know. Give him somebody. Not Jake Hager. I don't like Jake Hager. But you can give him somebody else. I don't know who, but somebody. There's somebody out there. Matt Riddle and Jericho versus Big Bill and Enzo.
Nah.
I don't know. Somebody. There's somebody out there you could pair with Jericho for a feud with Enzo and Big Bill.
If I had to, I'd rather be Shelton Benjamin because he's so underrated. Shelton Benjamin is so underrated.
I would like
He could do
to see Shelton Benjamin just be an AEW. I wouldn't put him with Jericho. It wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be a good pairing. He doesn't need a Jericho with him.
I know, but hey, Shelton Benjamin is good, just underrated.
Yeah, that's true. Since you got a late start, we'll look to wrap this up, Joe. Who's your wrestler of the week?
Okay, it finally happened. My wrestler of the week, I told you about this like a few months ago. I wait for him to break out. He finally broke out this week.
Who?
Kaiser. That's who I've been waiting for this whole time. Kaiser. I told you. I've seen it coming. It was coming soon. Kaiser.
You think Dragunov comes up to the main roster and joins Imperium?
It's rumored, but him and Gunther had so many good feuds matches. I don't want that to happen though.
I know, right? But I mean, do we need it? We need him and Gunther feuding again? I don't know if we need it.
I would say somewhere around King of the Ring. If they made some type of deal where if he wins, he had to join Imperium and do whatever Gunther says. When they do the draft tomorrow night, we'll see.
For me, man, my wrestler of the week was a hard one to get to. Difficult choices. I was up in the air on a few guys. Ray Phoenix came back. He had a great match. We had grizzled young veterans on Collision against the Acclaimed. Hopefully they become all elite because that match was really good and that's a great tag team. But my wrestler of the week, Claudio Castagnoli, man.
What?
Yeah, Claudio and Swerve had a great match. I thought that match was entertaining. I didn't necessarily like the fact they did the World Title Open Challenge. Thought that was dumb as hell, but I do think that their match was really good. Claudio did a lot of good things. How he resisted that standing double stomp whenever he just ate it and brought in the uppercut. That was cool. That was a cool spot.
That must have practiced though, but he did it perfect.
It was perfect. Like first time I see him, I'm like, what did I just watch? What just happened? And I'm watching him like, oh shit, that's really good. What a good spot to do. So yeah, Claudio, my wrestler of the week for sure.
Mm-hmm. I'll go with
that. I think we had a great week of wrestling. Who do you think gets picked first tomorrow in the draft? Raw goes first. Who do you think they take?
I think so. All the champions are safe.
Yep.
Okay. I would say Raw was probably going to stick with main event Jay. I'll say SmackDown.
They already took Jey Uso. They got Jay.
Oh, they already took Jay? Oh.
Yep, they already took Jay.
Okay, so let's see here. I'm going to say NXT call-up. There's going to be a couple NXT call-ups. I'm going to go with Perez. No, wait, she's champion. Never mind. She can't be going. God damn.
She can't go.
It's a tough one. I don't know. But you know what? I think somebody's going to pick Tiffany Stratus. One of them needs Tiffany Stratus for sure.
I think first pick for Raw is going to be Jimmy Uso.
Jimmy Uso?
Okay. Yep, they're going to put the Usos back on the same show.
Okay.
I don't know who I think SmackDown's going to take, but I do think Raw's first pick tomorrow will be Jimmy Uso. Get the Usos on the same show together to eventually bring them back as a tag team. Although
that'd be good.
Jimmy is out with an injury, but he'll be back.
That'd be good. Yeah.
Dominic Mysterio is injured.
Well, he ain't bad. He don't need surgery, so we good on that.
Right.
I guess they're gonna keep Judgment Day together. I think.
Yeah, I think they'll keep Judgment Day together for a little while.
But
Yeah, I think you bring Jimmy Uso to Raw.
yeah, I say SmackDown. They're gonna pick Tiffany Stratton first. They're gonna keep her because she is a good. Even though you don't like the female wrestler, I'm saying Tiffany Stratton. She's pretty good. She's good in the ring.
I believe you. With that, everyone, thank you for checking us out right here live on Instagram. If not live on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, YouTube Music, wherever you're getting your podcast from, you're fine. Don't say the F word. We appreciate you. Those of you who caught us live, thank you for sticking around to catch us being late because I don't know what day of the week it is for whatever reason. Stay tuned. This week we got some interviews to announce. David Feldman will be joining us at some point, probably this week or next week. Stay tuned. We'll update you on times for the show as some things change. But we will still be kicking things off live on Instagram. And if you miss us live on Instagram, it's wherever you get your podcast from. Joe, any last words for our fans out there before we send them out of here with some I Hate Bonnie?
Yes. Okay. I just want everybody to know. Come next Sunday, I will call his phone for the first time and just let him know, hey, don't forget, it's 6 o'clock. Okay, bye.
And I forgot what day it was one time. With that, the intro becomes the outro. I Hate Bonnie on Instagram. Go check him out.
Got it out the mud, now I'm swimming in this dope when bathing. COD, double up, hands on the Kimbo, the clip on the extendo, the stick that I'm clutching in a kendo. Count to 3, then I ring the bell, make them hands get the race. The cadence so raw, bro, the mic blow and nitro, it bang like some thunder, it's no wonder they be praised. The necklace on Tundra, you reaching it up 6 feet, I put them in a pack on a lunge drum, blaze. Keep it in.
We out.
All right.